Hi there ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastwood for Life fan and this is movie pickups for the month of February 2020. And before we get to the pickups, some news on my 500 subs contest. I'm going to be running that contest in early April. I do have a few prizes that I want to pick up for you guys to win, and I will keep you posted when I will be running that contest in the next couple of videos. But first things first, another shout out, and this update's shout out goes to Sean Blu Digital, a guy from the US, mainly a horror movie collector, but he does pick up other movie genres, and I think he's been on YouTube for over a year, puts out regular content daily, and he's establishing his name in the horror community. So he has a great channel. The channel link will be in the description box down below. Go over and across, sub to the man, and say that Eastwood for Life recommended his great channel. Now to the movie pickups. So we'll start off with the DVDs first, and being a Eastwood for Life fan, I picked up Rawhide season 1, and this is the UK release of series 1. I do have the first 3 seasons in a fat pack from the US, but I want to pick up the separate seasons in the UK releases of this great TV Western series that came out in the late 50s and finished in the mid 60s, and it ran for 8 seasons and over 200 episodes. So this is series 1, I should say. And this is series 2. And before, Clint Eastwood was the man with no name. He was featured in this great Western TV series as Rowdy Yates. So I do have the other 6 seasons to pick up in Rawhide. Another Clint Eastwood DVD. This is a documentary, Out of the Shadows, a documentary that was made in the year 2000, and this one's also a UK release, and this comes at a running time of 87 minutes. And eventually I will be doing my Clint Eastwood collection. Just a few more I need to pick up. The next one is a early 70s spaghetti western, The Price of Death. And this is a German hardbox release. And as far as I know, this is the only release that it comes with an English audio. This one stars Gianni Garco and Klaus Kinski. They were featured in the first 2 Satana movies. And this one's the 3rd part in a loose trilogy about the gun-slinging detective known as Silver. The first 2 movies were played by German actor Peter Lee Lawrence in Killer Caliber 32 and Killer Adios. And that is a nice hard box cover. I don't have too many releases like this. The next one's a comedy western, Blazing Saddles. And I've got to be honest, I'm not really a fan of western comedies, but I'm going to give this one another go. The early 70s Mel Brooks movie starring Gene Wilder, and also Richard Pryor is in this movie, and I didn't realise he done some of the screenplay to this movie, Blazing Saddles. The next few are Chuck Norris DVDs, which I've finished my collection of the movies and TV series of Chuck Norris, and this is the 5th season of Walker, Texas Ranger. American DVD release of Cordell Walker. It comes in these thin, slim cases. Then I also picked up the 7th season. And I also have the final Walker Texas Ranger season. It did go on for 8 seasons. And I now have all 8 seasons, and these are all American DVDs. And although Walker Texas Ranger finished in 2001, there was a TV movie that came out in 2005, Trial by Fire, and this is the German release. It does have a English audio, and as far as I know, as I was going to pick up the American Walker Texas Ranger box set, this does not feature in that edition, so I had to get the German release of this, Trial by Fire. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s, Chuck Norris, he made some other TV movies. This one's The President's Man, A Line in the Sand, and Logan's War, Bound by Honor. This is a free film collector's set, and it features all 3 of these movies. And that completes my Chuck Norris collection, which I will be doing a video real soon, most probably in March, as Chuck Norris is approaching the age of 80 years old. So look forward to doing that video and showing my Chuck Norris complete collection. From one action star on to another, this is Sylvester Stallone in Driven, and this was a commercial flop for Sylvester Stallone. He did produce, and he wrote some of the movie in Driven, and this is one I haven't seen, about the motor racing sport, and also Burt Reynolds is featured in this movie as well. And this is the UK snapper case release. Not expecting great things with this one. This was a very cheap buy. A hold your breath thrill ride. Well, I won't hold my breath in expecting this one's going to be a great action movie. And the last DVD I picked up is also another documentary. This is Generation Iron, kind of like a modern day bodybuilding documentary, modern day pumping iron movie. And this one, Mickey Rourke, he does the voiceover. There is Generation Iron 2, Part 2 and Part 3 on Netflix, but this is the first one. Pretty good bodybuilding documentary. Onto the Blu-rays now, and the next three are Kino Lorber Region A spaghetti western movie releases. The Hellbenders 1967 Sergio Corbucci movie starring Joseph Cotton. Been waiting for this one to be released on Blu-ray, and this is an upgrade. And this one's about a Confederate colonel and his sons. They attack and kill a Union Army convoy carrying a large shipment of money, and then they try to escort the money and head back south. But this one's a very good spaghetti western, and if you're a casual spaghetti western fan who enjoyed the Sergio Leone movies, then I highly recommend picking up some of the Sergio Corbucci spaghetti westerns, the director of the original Django and The Great Silence. And this one is Region A only. And another Sergio Corbucci movie, The Specialists 1969. This stars Johnny Hallyday, the French rock star. And this one's not as good as the Hellbenders, in my opinion. It's kind of like a hippie spaghetti western, this one, about a gunfighter who arrives in town as he seeks revenge on the people who killed his brother. And I am planning on picking up the UK Eureka release of The Specialists, which is coming out in May in a collector's edition. And last Kino Lorber spaghetti western is Kill Them All and Come Back Alone, directed by Enzo G. Castellari and starring American actor Chuck Connors. Enzo G. Castellari, very good B movie director from Italy, who made his name in a lot of the action movies that he made, a lot of the high stunts and action that he used to put out in his movies. The director of Kioma and Street Law. And this one's a pretty good one. Chuck Connors is hired by a Confederate general to raid a Union stranglehold and steal $1 million in gold coins. And Chuck Connors, he gets a team together as they try to break into the like an enemy fortress. But if you love your westerns, high action and plenty of stunts, then this one comes highly recommended. Kill Them All and Come Back Alone. And still with Italian movies, I picked up the 88 Films release of Brothers Till We Die, starring Thomas Milian. And this was released by 88 Films a couple of months ago. And this is the sequel to Rome Armed to the Teeth, also known as The Tough Ones. And this is the 1978 Eurocrime sequel. And the slipcover is limited to 3,000 copies. You do get the Italian cover. This one's directed by Umberto Lenzi. He made some great Eurocrime movies, Umberto Lenzi, as well as giallo movies, and you do get a booklet with this. you do like your 70s European action movies, crime movies, then this one is worth picking up. Brothers Till We Die. And this one is region free, and you do get a few extras. I do hope that 88 Films release a few more Eurocrime movies. Next Blu-ray is Chinatown, made in 1974, a Roman Polanski movie, and this is the part of the HMV Premium Collection. It is numbered number 40, starring Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. Jack Nicholson is a private investigator. Jake, an expert in cheating spouse cases. This one's set in the 1930s. Comes in a DVD Blu-ray, and you do get a little booklet. They did make the sequel in the early 90s, The Two Jakes. I remember not enjoying this movie when I first watched this. Give this another go. Chinatown. And just remembered to give a brief description. Yeah, he's a private investigator in cheating spouse cases, and then he gets caught up in a web of deceit, murder and corruption. Jack Nicholson. Next movie is a Vietnam War movie, early 2000. We Were Soldiers, based on a true story, starring Mel Gibson. Pretty good Vietnam War movie. I really enjoyed watching this one, and thought I had it in the collection, but realised I hadn't. Very underrated war movie, this one. The last of the Blu-rays. This is The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke. This was kind of like his comeback movie. Mickey Rourke plays a faded wrestler on tour, kind of like a Rocky wrestling movie, this one. But yeah, very good movie, this one, The Wrestler. And I thought I had this in the collection, but realised I hadn't. Really good movie, this one. I enjoyed this when it first came out. So that is all the Blu-rays. And we go on to the 4K titles that I picked up. And the next two are 4K and Blu-ray limited numbered collector's editions. And they are some beautiful releases. Picked up another Film Arena release. This one's a limited collector's numbered edition of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. There's a 4K cut and Blu-ray cut of the movie. This one is limited to 2,000 copies. That is my number, 1008. And I'm going to do a separate video on this because there's a whole lot of goodies in this release. The James Cameron sequel starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the best special effect movies ever made. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. We'll be doing a separate video of that soon, and also another limited collector's numbered edition. I picked up the Everything Blue release of Gladiator, the Ridley Scott movie, and this comes in a 4K and Blu-ray release. Loads of goodies in this one, and this one is limited to 800 copies. Russell Crowe plays Maximus, a Roman general, and also this one, I will do this in a separate video, and my number is numbered 58, and now going for crazy money as this release is sold out. Everything Blue's release of Gladiator. So guys, that is all the movie pickups for the month of February 2020. I'll keep you posted on the competition details real soon. Probably going to be holding that in early April. So guys, till the next video, stay healthy and well, and as always, keep on collecting physical media.